I think there already is restructuring, and we often find out these things later. For example, 343 did not deliver on Halo Infinite, heads rolled. We didn't find out so much later when their LinkedIn profiles and a journalist happened to be watching it. But a lot of those moves were happening sooner than you might think. And yes, restructuring does need to happen. I think there is real criticism that should be lobbied towards the way Xbox markets. Real criticism should be marketed towards quality control for AAA first party. That doesn't mean firings. That means some things need to change, right? We should not consistently see lackluster releases when they're meant to be tentpole. And you can look at 2017 as a nice example of this. 2017 was State of Decay 2, Sea of Thieves, Crackdown 3. Well, I really found a lot of joy in all three of those games. It wasn't what it needed to be. What happened? Changes were made. The acquisition of In Exile, Obsidian, Double Fine. Who made Contrast? The pill game.
Compulsion.
We Happy Few. Compulsion. Thank you very much. Compulsion. You saw addresses to those concerns, right? And then prior to that, there was a hardware problem. The VCR Xbox was hideous. Change happened. You had the Xbox One S and X subsequently in the years that followed. People weren't happy with the lack of backward compatibility. That changed. Things do need to change. And I wonder if, as a company, they've been too divided in their focus. And armchair analyst, is that because of ABK? Is that because of, Bethesda's its own branch? It certainly feels like the position that I think Matt Booty holds, which may not be actually what he does, right? So again, armchair analyst is sometimes very easy to do, but like Matt Booty oversees the catalog. Is there enough oversight happening? Are they getting the check-ins? You guys mentioned Redfall. I don't feel like there is, right? And that's what I think his job is, right? Maybe that's not actually what it is. We all know Aaron Greenberg pretty comfortably, and we think of him as being the marketing guy. Maybe he's not actually responsible for the marketing guy. Maybe it's a figurehead position. And they've been phasing out Major Nelson over the past few years in favor of Sarah Bond, Kelly Lombardi, and a few others, Malik. And these things, it's more jarring when it happens cold turkey. It gets reported on differently than if you just kind of gradually let them go into the wind. And maybe that's what's happening in some cases. But yeah, I think there does need to be a restructuring, a new approach, as it were, better oversight, quality control, and marketing approach does need to happen from my position of not being on the other side, from my position as a podcaster, from my position as a guy who educates 13-year-olds by day and then plays and talks about games by night. So yes, optically there is a problem, and that optically needs to get fixed. How it gets fixed is up to people more in the know than us. It's just like when you see people armchairing ABK. It's like, none of y'all know. Clearly they don't know. It's not like half their reporting on what cloud gaming doesn't actually match what the product is, but that's because you have a lot of people dipping in and offering when they don't actually have insight.
Well, on top of that, since you mentioned ABK,
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do it.
No, it's fine.
Here we are. I'm so sorry.
Don't worry. I won't get into that. But I would like you to name, and this will go to the panel and also to the chat. So chat, let me know what your pick would be. I would like you to name 3 things that you feel Xbox can do if the deal falls completely, the deal gets blocked.
Oh, and yeah.
Out of the 3 things, one of them, it could be a safe bet. Then the second one, in the possibility realm. And then the third one, let's go unrealistic. Something that you think it won't happen, but you hope that it will happen.
Okay, easy. Well, first of all, I don't think the ABK deal is very good. So truly, I don't think they need to bring them into their catalog so much as they need to rebuild a relationship with Activision Blizzard, because when that relationship was strong, Xbox was strong. And Activision has inherited a lot of problems over the last few years. And we have an entire generation of people that don't remember when Xbox and Activision were synonymous. Call of Duty and Xbox were synonymous.
Yeah.
So if the deal falls through, I think what needs to happen, and this is your realistic one, I think is one of the ones you asked, they need to rekindle and support that marketing agreement with a lot of those games. We don't see Microsoft spend a lot of money to get marketing for games like Call of Duty. Prior to that, games like Destiny, they all switched over to PlayStation, which makes sense, by the way, if you're Activision, if you're Bungie, because the install base was double and triple the size. And I get and appreciate that. But in a world where you no longer need an install base of consoles to play the game, then they need to support that marketing deal with Activision and say, okay, we have the marketing for Diablo. We have the marketing for Call of Duty. And that needs to be the big one, right? So that's my realistic one. Then you wanted kind of like a medium and then extreme. Was that the...
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically.
Further out, if I have a medium one, then they need to green light Toys for Bob to develop some exclusive games in a second party position for the company, and may those be mascot platformers. Banjo is such a safe bet that it's very strange that they don't make the layup with that one, and it doesn't need to be Rare unless Rare is saying no, but why not partner with a quality studio like Toys for Bob that has delivered on both Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon and make the layup with a good, high-quality mascot platformer like Banjo-Kazooie. And for the record, I mean, give that a little bit more budget than, say, you did Battletoads, right? Like, because I think Battletoads was great for what it was, but and Delilah Studio deserves to be praised because they had an unfair task, but a higher budget than that, right? And then you wanted like a pie in the sky one?
Yeah, like an unrealistic, something you hope that it would happen, but you don't think it will.
If the deal falls through, I hope they get Diablo into Game Pass with exclusive early access style content, the way that, say, you get special strikes in Bungie's games or bonus XP for Call of Duty on PlayStation and such. A deal like that for Diablo is unlikely to happen given the install base elements. However, credit to League of Legends and some of the stuff they've done on the PC side. I think that would be a nice get and smart move for them. But without a doubt, PlayStation has damaged its relationship with several major studios and major companies like Valve and a few others that were in favor of this deal. But that damage only goes as far as PlayStation's not willing to pay. So hopefully Microsoft capitalizes on that relationship damage and says, okay, well, look, we don't get to play ball. Here's your $3 billion. Enjoy your $3 billion, but let's cut a deal for marketing and such. And the acquisitions were never done, by the way. There are other things being worked on by Microsoft for acquisitions. And that's not a rumor mill thing. That's not something I don't know anything major that anybody else doesn't. But it's their business, and they're seeking to strengthen a portfolio that is going to be built for an era where you don't need a system. So they need content. And I think what's going to happen is everyone's going to race for content. You're going to fall back down. Like right now, you see Paramount, you see Apple, you see Netflix, you see so many people racing to get content, and then they cancel the show after one season. So expect that to happen too. This is an ebb and flow type thing. But the world is not over. Xbox is not dead because Redfall is bad.
They just made $1 billion. They just set records for users. Yeah. It's crazy that people are thinking Xbox is dead.
Yes, people make very silly statements. And oftentimes some of those silly statements are to fuel the fact that they get income from inflammatory comments on YouTube or content creation and such. And so when you take a step back and you look at, okay, why are his thumbnails always the same? Phil Spencer, my brutally honest opinion. It's like, all right, you have a brutally honest opinion because you have subscribers, and we get that.
Oh, man.
I commented on some of those face thumbnails stay on Twitter.
Yeah, and I'm not hating the game. They're playing the game.
They're playing the game.
Yeah.
But I will hate people with that. I don't hate people, but I will be upset when people pretend that those people are factually speaking from a position of knowledge. When it's like, no, they're you. They just got really good at selling their opinion, and don't hate them for it. You're buying it.
It's very disingenuous.
Yeah, definitely.
But if it bleeds, it leads.
Yeah, well, my safe bet would be that hopefully, they restructure the studios a little bit around. It's something that I have mentioned, and Luke was talking a little bit about how Matt Booty, he's having to be the oversee of these studios and kind of managing. I feel he needs help. Something that I have said, and I keep saying it. Give Obsidian more studios. I feel like they could be like a Bethesda branch, even if it's a little bit smaller than Bethesda. But I feel like they have proven that they're a workhorse, even though their big games haven't come out yet. But I feel like they seem to be working pretty fast, and they seem to know what they're working on. But that's my safe bet. But I see Crazy Lou nodding his head. What are your three picks, Crazy?
Let me tell you something, though. This is what I would do. And you guys have not mentioned this once. We got to work on that marketing, baby. We got to focus a lot of things on marketing. That's one thing. Quality control, which they were making fun of me. I'm going to tell you something. Xbox has a thing where you can test games. I have tested games before, right? Also,
That's why they come out broken, because you're testing.
No. No, because I'm just saying they have a program to test it. Or they have to go after me because I'm trying them. Hey, I tried some games, and if they ask me for reviews, I would literally say what I think about it. But they have a way, right, to test games for people to hop on there, test games. Hey, this is what's concurrently going on with the name. With the game. What do you guys think? And man, you got Twitter out there, you got social media out there. Hear what the people think about it, right? Like I was saying before, if they would have said it a couple months ago when they were giving out those beta testing with Redfall and said, "Hey, we're gonna throw it out in 30 FPS," and heard everybody come out, yell, and scream. Right there, quality control should have said, "Hey guys, let's move this till October, or let's move this forward. Let's focus on restructuring this game. Let's get it better because hey, the people are talking, and we gotta deliver what they want. This is what they want. They want their game in 60. Let's give it to them and let's make it better." Because again, look at that IGN video. Everybody's like, "Oh, IGN," but you know what? That was actually the game. It had issues.
Yeah,
It had issues, and that's true. So if you guys don't see what's going on, I mean, if you guys don't take the hints, right? Microsoft, take the hints, take the ideas, man, you out of luck. You got to take those ideas and what you're releasing right now, suck it in right now, restructure, reorganize, let your studios do what they got to do. You also, if you're the head of this thing, go check out your games, go check out how things are. If you find out that this game is not working out properly, then hey, say let's move it, let's delay it, let's do this, let's do that. Of course people are going to be mad, right? They're going to be, oh my God, another delay. Microsoft keeps promising and promising and promising and promising, even though they promise. But I'm going to tell you something, though. I want a better game like Hi-Fi Rush, because I'm going to tell you something. That Hi-Fi Rush game, when it Shadow dropped, right? That game, tell me, did it have any issues? Nope. That game was perfectly fine. Why? Because they sat there, they worked their things, worked things, um, they worked the issues out. They worked the game perfectly fine, nice and peaceful, and there it is. We got a good game. So
Can I
why?
jump in on
Go ahead,
that?
go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Of course.
And I apologize for the self-promotion on this element, but I got to interview John Johannes right when Hi-Fi Rush came out on their media tour. He came on my show. It was I think the second show he came on, which was way lucky for me. There was no skill. It was just luck, just to be very clear. But he came on and he talked about that. He talked about how everyone was wanting them to make Evil Within 3, Evil Within 3, Evil Within 3.
Yeah.
But being able to chase down Shinji Mikami. Is it Shinji Mikami?
Yeah.
Caught him in an elevator. He's like, look, here's what I want to make. And Shinji was like, all right. And then they got to go make it without being bothered or pestered, without having to be on sizzle reels, without having to be. And they had scope control, they had game control, and they had creative control. And those things allowed them to make what they wanted to make. And so I didn't mean to cut you off, other than to agree with you, but say that firsthand, John said those words. And it wasn't just me that he said it on that show, but like I got to hear him say that. And that makes a huge difference. You get to just go make it. Now, budget plays a big factor for that for a lot of studios. So
yeah, and we're talking about this is a $1 trillion company, so budget's not an issue, right?
Should be.
But budget shouldn't be an issue right now. We're talking about $1 trillion company, so yeah. And like I said, marketing, get those studios, the way they need to be in shape. They need to have everything fine, and they need to have a guy right there, a supervisor, say, "Hey, man,
So
I don't
crazy.
know," or get the
Sorry to
people
cut
to
you
try.
out.
Go.
I know you said marketing, quality control. What would
Yeah.
be your third option out of like something out of the realm?
Something out of the realm that could actually be a
I
crazy.
don't know why I'm asking you this, but could be dangerous question. I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you then.
Yeah, keep going. Let me think. Let me think a little bit about it real quick, because if
Plume,
something out of the world now.
I see you thinking for a while. Well, what would be your three picks?
Yeah, I need the question again. So
Oh,
what would
sorry.
they do if the deal falls through?
Yeah, if they fall through, you have three choices that you would like them to do. One of them will be like a safe bet. The second one will be within the possibility realm, and then the third one will be unrealistic, but you still hope that it would happen.
So safe bet would be, I think that they have 23 studios right now, all working on tons of games. Like you think about Perfect Dark, Indiana Jones, Gears, Elder Scrolls, Starfield around the corner, Forza Motorsport, all these games, right? Are coming out. State of Decay 3. Like there's so many games in the works at Xbox. The safe bet for me would be to like take that money, stop trying to go and buy stuff, stop trying to go and expand out because they think they need more content, all that type of stuff. And I would just invest it and make sure that going forward, all of the games coming out from Xbox are of the highest possible quality. There's so many games in the works here that like they can take their time on a lot of these games and make sure that they're amazing when they come out, and even have games just cooking in the background that are ready to go, and then just like slowly drip them out and release them and just bring back so much goodwill from the platform if they're not releasing in the state that Redfall's releasing. That would be my bet. I feel like that would increase Game Pass. It'd get people going out there and just jumping into the platform, which is obviously what they want. They want more users. They want more people playing everywhere, and doing that, I think, would really help push it forward. Second, what was the second thing? I already forgot.
The second one is hold on, I even gotta go check again. It's possibility realm. Yeah,
possibility realm. Although
like
yeah, although it goes against like how I feel how gaming should be. One reason I love Xbox is that they provide access to people, and they don't have these stupid timed exclusivity deals where like people believe that like they're getting an advantage depending on the console on, or really as a gamer you're getting absolutely nothing from third-party deals. You're getting absolutely nothing from timed exclusivity. I think at some point they're gonna have to just get dirty and just like do what PlayStation's doing, because clearly there's no other route for them at this point if the deal falls through, right? They got blocked on and trying to expand out through that. They obviously have to grow organically inside and make sure that everything coming out is amazing. The only other thing they have to start doing more is just going back to like the 360 days and doing those third-party deals, doing that exclusivity stuff. Because there was a really good tweet that I think it was Ryan McCaffrey put out, and it's like there's a lot of people on Xbox that just weren't around during the 360 days. They don't remember the heyday of Xbox, right? They think that Xbox is Xbox One and now what's going on. So they have a bad taste in their mouth over a number of years of things that they screwed up on. Yep. But if you're around during the 360 days where they were taking part in a lot of the stuff that PlayStation takes part in, not that they didn't do it after that, but just like really heavily, it was the heyday. So I think they got to get back to that and just like, you know what, stop trying to go out and acquire all this stuff. Just make those third-party deals, and people will be happy about that. If you're an Xbox fan, where you're getting a bunch of awesome Game Pass exclusives from third parties, whether that's timed exclusive into Game Pass or that's full exclusive into Game Pass, whatever it is, just get people looking at Game Pass and Xbox as the platform, as that place to play when these third-party games release.
And Plume, you just took my unrealistic, but you still hope it could happen. That's what I wanted to happen. I want Xbox to be aggressive. That's what that's the term, and that's what we need. We need an aggressive Microsoft. You got trillions of dollars. Get aggressive, man. Get to it. Yeah. You guys gotta strap on, as we say in Spanish, those cojones, and man, go to that war, fight it. Get aggressive.
Yeah, I think like people are tired of the nice guy thing, and I mean, since the Series X and S dropped, I was all for all of like access. We don't like third-party deals don't benefit gamers. Who cares if they're just going to open up Game Pass to everyone? Like that's a great thing. But obviously, if this deal gets completely blocked, they're going to have to do something with all that money. And I think third-party deals is the way that they're going to have to go with it.
Yeah, and your unrealistic pick?
Ooh, unrealistic pick. Unrealistic. I honestly like. I don't know if they're going to go out and buy another huge third-party publisher if this deal doesn't go through, because if we believe what they're saying, they're buying it for mobile. So I feel like they're just going to be going out and spending more money on trying to grow their mobile side of gaming to compete with Apple and Google. So for me, it's like unrealistic pick would be to like go, I don't know, go get some more Japanese developers on board into Xbox Game Studios to kind of try to grow in Japan. I think that would be it.
Okay. How about you, Simon? What are your 3 picks?
All right. Well, I'm going to make this really quick because I want to make sure we get our guest out of here since we're already going off on time. But I'm going to make this quick. So a safe bet, I think in this situation, we run into the scorched earth scenario that we've talked about in the past, right? This is done with, start making those timed and exclusive deals, money hatting and doing what the competitor's doing, right? So Sony's been doing this all this time. Take one from their playbook. Like if they're not going to let you buy this, they're going to throw up opposition. Do the same thing they're doing, but do it better. You've got the money. You can do it. In regards to a possibility realm, maybe go for Sega or Capcom, but also still focusing on other agreements as well. I think those ones are small enough that maybe you could get those ones in without them throwing a fit about it, tilting the scales and tilting the competition in the way of Microsoft solely. I think that's the big thing, right? Is ABK is a big purchase. And so they've thrown that out there as, oh, this would just be too big. This would ruin us. Okay. Buy one of these smaller groups. Those companies both have very good games in their lineup and in their backlog that you could bring into play. And you could still focus on other agreements and probably not get blocked in the process. And an unrealistic, I'm going to be a little silly about this one, but bring Jim Ryan onto Microsoft, because obviously he's really, really good at getting these things blocked or making these deals happen. So bring him on, because obviously he can do it. Obviously he can provide that support or that opposition, right? So bring him on the team because he's doing something right.
All right. Well, I'm just quickly going to say, I already said my safe bet. I was going to say during the possibility, I would say they can go for smaller studios. They could target, they already are building relationship with many studios like Crystal Dynamic, Asobo, etc. So maybe settle for those kind of studios. And then unrealistically, honestly, I would love a handheld.